Hi, Salma. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
لا بجد honestly, I want you to know you are the first dyslexic in Egypt who's willing to share their story. So this is very exciting for me. Yeah.
That's insane. No way. It's crazy. But I mean, what you're doing is crazy amazing, Yani. I remember finding your page and I'm like, oh my God, akhiran, there's someone who's like talking about it. Yani.
Thank you. That means so much. No, it's you that's really making me like do this, and you're encouraging me to really share everyone's story, Fahani. Thank you for taking the time to share your story with me and with everyone who's gonna be watching.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Let's start. I just want you to just briefly introduce yourself. You can start with your name.
So my name is Salma and I'm 24 years old and I'm currently working at an advertising agency and I graduated studying marketing. And I think we found out I was dyslexic around 6 or 7 years old, around that age. And yeah, because when I started school, it showed right away.
Who kind of found out about your dyslexia? How did you know?
So I would go to school, I couldn't catch up with the other kids. My mom would study with me and she would realize there's something wrong. And then she would be like, oh, she's not paying attention, Aiden. So I'm gonna put a little more stress on her. And then she realized that something is wrong. And we need to go to a doctor and find out what's going on. And she took the initiative. She was like, I have to know. And she went to the doctor. And they did a lot of tests. طبعا أنا مش فاكرة حاجة. I don't remember the tests. I don't remember anything. And then I think added فترة until the doctor was like, okay, this is called dyslexia. This is what your child has. And you need to understand. You need to tell teachers how to deal with her وكده. And I'm also ADD. فاللي هو I feel like they always come together. I'm the teacher's worst nightmare.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Wallahi, dyslexia, it's very easy to deal with it when you know how.
It is when you know how to deal with it. And if you know, it's so easy.
But that's really good from your mom, and she kind of saw some of the signs. فأنتي, the doctor that you went to, did you end up doing a test? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I got tested because my mom was like, بصوا لا في حاجة غلط. I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what these signs are, but I know there's something different. There's something that needs to, I need to figure this out. She's not like the other kids, so I need to know what's going on. So she went to the doctor and they run tests and they're like, okay, this is dyslexia. You need to know what this is. And it was the first time my mom heard about it. She was like, ده ايه ده بقى؟ انتوا بتقولوا ايه؟ طبعا my parents were so afraid في الأول إن هو this doctor is like, okay, she's dyslexic, she's ADD. بس اللي هو طب ايه ده؟ What's going on?
There's a lot to take in, definitely.
It was a lot, and the doctor gave them tips on how I should study. My mom started turning my study sessions with her into games and songs and things to help me get over اللي هو خلاص, okay, you got my attention. Why? She started finding different ways for me to learn. But the whole problem was with the school system. There was so much that my mom could do, but then you go to school and then I didn't find the same patience. And support. كان صعب.
Well, I think with the school, that is kind of like the biggest issue here in Egypt. We have centers and those are helpful, but it's the school that's really the problem. Like some schools, I'm not going to say all of them, of course, some of them are good, but I feel like they need to stress a bit more on learning difficulties and having like a department for
Definitely.
Sure.
Definitely. So, I feel like teachers should go and they should be briefed about things like this, because so many of my teachers growing up, they didn't know what this was. They thought probably this is laziness. This is her not doing the 100% effort. This is her not wanting to do this. And it wasn't like I didn't want to, I just didn't catch up as quickly as the other kids. And a lot of teachers just got bored. They didn't want to deal with me or set extra time with me so they would like punish me. They're like, okay, we're gonna give the entire class treats, but you're not gonna get it because you're not doing your job. And I'm like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I'm in
طيب انت يعني الحمد لله you had your parents they were very supportive معاكي وانا حاسه especially your mom الحمد لله that's very good. What you mentioned حاجه برضو I want to kind of ask you about in terms of teachers. You went through it. You went through teachers who didn't want to put the extra time and the extra effort معاكي. How does that feel, you know? يعني having dyslexia is one thing, but how does it feel when you have teachers who are supposed to be your role models in education not really put in the time and the effort? How did that make you feel?
Horrible, because it wasn't just the teachers putting pressure on me. When the teacher slightly bullies a child, the other children catch up to that. They're like, okay, she has a problem, so we're gonna bully her, come in. But the teachers kind of push the other kids to bully me. You're supposed to be outside my home, this is where I'm supposed to be safe, where I'm supposed to learn. They're like your parents, your teachers are like your parents outside your home. This is where you come and learn from. But not, I had teachers who, I don't know, they took it personal and I'm dyslexic. I don't know why. It was on them. They would get upset and why can't you spell quickly? I remember the principal, I don't know why I kept crying, but she came in, she was like, I'm gonna test the class how to spell things. But she's like, inti umi and spell flower. I just stood there, I was like, what? I can't spell it. أنا قلت لها mommy لسه ما عملتهاش معايا. She's like, لا, you need to know how to do it. Spell flower. And she starts shouting at me. And then the kids started making fun of me because my binder had the word flower on it. I was so freaked out. I couldn't even see it أصلا. I can't. The idea that a teacher is the reason why I got bullied, when they feel like, okay, this is extra work عليا. I'm not extra work. خالص. This is just you changing a little of your method and learning a different way. It's very simple.
That's the thing. It's so simple, but they just struggle so much to, give them that extra time, and they have to be more understanding. And I think this is really the issue here. A lot of them don't want to understand what it is or how to handle it. I can really relate to you. لأن أنا برضو when I was younger وأنا في مصر I left at one point من مصر بس وأنا عايشة هنا I also got bullied by the teachers, who that encouraged the kids to start bullying me as well. Me and you we have this in common.
Again, it's the most insane thing ever. You're the grown-up, you're the role model of the entire, you have 20 kids that look up to you. غصب عننا, we look up to our teachers. We see them cool, we see them funny, مثلا strict, whatever. But they're still your role models. They leave a mark on you. بس فكرة إن أنت to out me out from the kids, and kids are already cruel, and and المشكلة إن my parents would go and sit with the teachers and they're like, بصوا, this is 1, 2, 3, this is what the doctor said we should do, this is how we're doing it, communicate with me and we're here to help. My parents were like, احنا هنا if you problem, just let us know, we'll work on it at home, we just need communication ما بين بعض. And no, we're gonna put her at the end of the class, we're going to make sure that she's the only one that doesn't get a treat or a present. They would punish me. They're like, خلاص مش انت you're dyslexic type, no breaks. So why? Just because you're dyslexic, you sit and you work. It doesn't work that way. I'm not going to learn. I'm going to hate learning more, and I'm going to refuse it. All in all,
that's terrible. طب الحمد لله look at you now. You've overcome all of these traumatic experiences. Well, that's very
insane.
Yeah. But how did you kind of move past that? What was maybe let's say the grade or the year that you kind of started to feel like خلاص, I'm leaving this behind and yalla, I'm gonna move forward and really start focusing on my education without teachers and just with my parents' support?
And my parents were not okay خالص and I get treated badly in school, especially my dad. He's like, لا, there's nothing wrong with my kid. It's you that you're not doing your job. We're paying all this money عشان my child has the best education وانتو you just don't want to do it. My dad حصل مشكلة with one teacher, and then أنا as a child أنا كنت بسكت. I wouldn't say it, just go home and cry. فهم مش فاهمين why I'm crying. And then one day I told them, I was like, I'm getting bullied and مش عارفة إيه, I'm done خلاص, أنا مش قادرة. My dad and my mom راحوا بهدلوا المدرسة. They're like, إحنا مش مصدقين, we communicated with you, it's not like we all didn't know and she's a bad kid. لا إحنا مش فاهمين انتوا ليه في this gap of communication. Why are the teachers themselves or principal بيعملوا كده? My dad got so angry, he's like, هاتوا أوراقها, هاتوا حاجاتها. You're a horrible school. So we moved school. Go to another school, same thing happened. Teachers are not cooperative. مش بيساعدوا. They're like, مش قادرين. لا. خلاص. Very easy. My dad's like, لا خلاص. نسحب الورق. We're moving school. إحنا مش هنتعامل with schools who are not, and teachers that are not willing to do their job properly. وفي الآخر, I moved to the school that I graduated from. And honestly, it was the life-changing point in my life. اللي حصل, the principal there, she was like, so she needs to repeat the grades. طبعا my parents were worried ان هم يروحوا يقولوا لي كده, it's going to already affect me. إن أنا مش هقدر بقى إن أنا already I feel like I'm less than everyone else. I don't feel like I'm smart. أنا عندي مشكلة. Even though my parents are like, you're very smart, you're so clever, بصي ومش عارفة إيه, and they put a lot of effort. I remember I made my parents cry. They're putting a lot of effort into me learning وme not feeling إن أنا عندي مشكلة. They went to me and they're like, oh, you're repeating a grade because انتي كنتي British system and now we're going to the American system. فأنا سكت كده قلت لهم, wow, I didn't know, but my baby brother مش repeat a grade. They're like, لا عشان صغير فit's fine. فأنا رضيت. I was like, خلاص, this is the system. And I thought, and up until ما كبيرة بقول للناس أصل because I was moving schools. And then my mom was like, oh, لا, بصي, we're gonna tell you the truth. This is what happened. And it was life-changing. فعلا I had teachers هناك لما مامي تتكلم معاهم وبابي, Salma has dyslexia. Oh, okay, خلاص, we know what's going on. They would sit with me extra. They would make sure إن مثلا if I wasn't comfortable reading out loud, مثلا إيه يخلوني أقرأ مثلا a one line or two lines, just so I can gain my confidence. And I did it, yet I'm not pressured to read an entire paragraph. ولو مثلا قلت حاجة غلط, they would just skip it and they would come بالراحة كده جنبي and they're like, see, this is why and this is how we read it and just قسميها ومش عارفة إيه. And honestly, that was the life-changing point in my education. And I finally had teachers who, okay, خلاص احنا فاهمين, we know how to deal with this. This is very simple. It wasn't like they took time out of their lives. خالص. They just كان بيجوا جنبي يقولوا لي بصي كذا كذا بصوت واطي. They didn't have to say it out loud in front of all the kids. So I stopped getting bullied. I started catching up with the other kids. I had my mom got me a tutor at home until 8th grade. فضلت معايا كتير but it really helped me push myself. And then by 9th grade I could do this alone. I don't need anyone. I don't need teachers. I found my way of learning. I gained my confidence. It's all about برضو your confidence in yourself. If you feel like everyone's telling you that there's something wrong, لا انت متفهميش, لا انت متفهمش, you start feeling okay, خلاص يبقى أنا مش بفهم, then that's it.
Wow, that's incredible. But honestly, that's the best decision your parents made and you made to switch schools. It's those little things, that really make a difference. Like you said, the teacher comes to you and whispers, and it really helps. It changes everything.
It really does.
Alhamdulillah.
It really does.
You really managed.
I remember my math teacher كانت تدي the entire class the lesson and then they start solving and then she's like شاور لي بالراحة come sit next to me and we would do math together and I love her to death يعني فعلا هي she put a lot of effort for me to understand بقى حاجات زيادة لا يعني that was the life-changing point in my life honestly.
That's amazing. هو في teachers كده, there are some teachers بجد you remember them for the rest of your lives because of how they made you feel and how they taught you the right way. فيعني الحمد لله that's very good for you. I mean,
alhamdulillah, I got lucky.
Yeah.
I got lucky with my parents. I got lucky that they understood and they were pushing إن لا محدش هيعملها وحش محدش هيحسسها إن there's something wrong. Well, they didn't tell me I was dyslexic غير لما كبرت.
Okay.
يعني they kept it. They were like we don't want her to know إن في حاجة. يعني they're like أنتي ما عندكيش مشكلة. This isn't a problem. But we don't want you to think that you have a problem. Because people, when they find out, they're like, oh, لا ده أنا عندي مشكلة. There's something wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's just your brain is different, and that's okay.
Exactly. And you know, I feel like dyslexia, it gives you like a unique touch. You have something that other people don't have, and it really makes you different in a good way, like in the best way possible. You just really have to focus on that unique part, the strengths that you have. Incredible.
Truly, yes.
It's really good.
I completely agree.
And I'm kind of like you. My parents, Bardu, are my biggest supporters. They were always there, even when the school wasn't there for me. They were always there. They were always helping me and, you know, teaching me everything. But there is one thing, though, that I feel only schools can provide, and that's accommodations, like extra time in exams. And, you know, some people prefer having a teacher, for example. So, Inti, what accommodations did the school give you?
I had extra time on my exams. As much as I wanted. يعني براحتك. عايز تقعدي لبكرة إحنا قاعدين جنبك لبكرة. Relax. Don't worry because at my old schools there was like I started having a fear of exams. هو before my exam I get sick دايما. I have to get sick. I have to go يعني to create a huge problem في البيت. Panic attacks because I feel like I can't do this خلاص يعني. Teachers traumatized me in my old school يعني. In my new school that they gave me time. They're like, if you don't feel like you can do it today, we can do it another day. So the idea and I was comfortable enough and I have time to بخلص on time. يعني I didn't need the extra time in the end. But the idea and أنا كنت حاسة okay, I can take my time, I can read it slowly وكان ساعات مثلا my teachers would look over if I finished it too quickly. They would look over and they're like راجعي تاني. They wouldn't يعني allow me having bad grades because this is I'm going to feel bad discouraged تاني وكده. Like لا, have a look تاني. Try rereading it. Do you need me to read this out loud for you? ويجوا يوشوشوا لي برضه اللي هو إيه كذا كذا كذا. Do you understand this now? فاللي هو oh okay, I completely didn't understand it خالص and then I would get good grades in the end because يعني having an A or B or C doesn't define you خالص. It's just how يعني they just made sure and I understood. دي كانت أهم حاجة بالنسبة ل my teachers لما رحت my school يعني. It's I feel like the extra time having a shadow teacher حاسة إن هو you look different in front of all the other kids. It makes you
not for everyone. I mean, I had it for 2 days. That was it for me. Like it's just not my thing, you know. But I have a few people that kind of do enjoy having a shadow teacher, but I think it really depends on like the level of dyslexia they have or the type of learning disability.
Yes, true. Yes, I agree. But I feel like if I had a shadow teacher, it would have made me feel like more of a target. يعني because kids are evil يعني. But in my school يعني up until recently لقيتهم بيعملوا courses for the teachers about dyslexia where they're like telling the children like the classmates what this is and how we can help our friends. But I was so happy and up until now my school is still يعني supporting the idea. فاللي هو برافو يا جماعة.
That's incredible to be honest. يعني فعلا برافو عليهم لأن احنا we really need this. We need this في كل ال international schools في مصر وكمان ال public. بس يعني let's start with international الأول عشان
let's start with international بالضبط.
لا amazing. طب انتي how do you feel about your dyslexia now? Like you've overcome so many obstacles throughout your education. So how does it feel for you now to have dyslexia?
I feel like it's a part of me. I feel like yeah خلاص يعني أنا there was a time where I thought it was a huge problem and عندي مشكلة بس now don't feel like it's a problem يعني خالص. I feel like it's not there anymore يعني I notice it when other people notice it يعني غير كده I don't feel like it's there because I feel like okay I overcome كل الحاجات دي and then I went to uni and I graduated عادي جدا and now I'm working وكل حاجة is fine. So I feel like it doesn't affect you. People make you feel and it will affect you for the rest of your life. It does, but not in a crazy way where you can't live life. But right now, I feel like it's not there. I don't notice it as much. I feel when you get older, you start learning new ways to cope.
For sure. So how does it feel when you're working? I mean, I know Anna personally, when I work, there's just a few spelling mistakes that I have. Sometimes I ask them, like, read the emails that I'm sending. Like, those are the kind of things
And all I do is send emails تقريبا. So what I do is I spell check my emails.
That's a great
and I read it out loud. I start reading it out loud because طريقة who I try to see if it sounds correct ها طيب مش عارفة ايه and then then I go to Google. الحمد لله we have Google now where it's like oops you got this wrong فظبطها يعني there's no shame into being like okay I can't spell this out right now. It's not خلاص my brain can't do it يعني ممكن في words that I know how to spell and then في أيام كده it's just a totally different word يعني بكتب حاجة تانية خالص بس I spell check it و make sure and it's correct before sending it out. I sometimes get really anxiety رهيبة كده before pressing send. I'm like لا I need to triple check it كده بس عشان مش عايزة يبقى شكلي إن عندي مشكلة بس لا يعني on Google and I'm good.
Very good. I mean, it's very normal. يعني أصلاً people who don't have dyslexia, it's so natural for them to make like small mistakes. So it's completely normal.
Definitely.
We kind of live with it on a daily basis. We deal with it, and it's
exactly. So I feel like when you have dyslexia, بتحسي اللي هو one mistake يا نهار أبيض اللي هو
yeah, that sometimes it can get frustrating. It really can.
Frustrating and you put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
بس اللي هو I try to be like لا عادي. Okay, this is how it's spelled. أحاول بقى turn it into a song like my mom used to do وأعرفها. يعني try to do what they did عشان أضبط نفسي.
Amazing, amazing. بجد يعني you went through so much وفاهمة it doesn't stop. And that's what I feel everyone really needs to focus on because ماشي, you have dyslexia, but it's not the end of the world. You can still achieve anything you want to. Just keep going for it and keep focusing on it. You will reach whatever your goal is.
Definitely, definitely. The idea that it stops you, صعب.
Oh, it really doesn't. It really doesn't at all. So, Auntie, what is one thing you would really like to share with like our viewers today?
I feel like educate yourself about it, and if you feel like you have it, go to a doctor and get tested. And yani, if you see the signs, if you're a parent and you see the signs, you need to take your child. You need to catch it early on. You need to educate schools. If you're a teacher, learn more about it. Learn how you can help, because teachers and people don't understand how one word can affect you for the rest of your life. One word, one action. I'm already having this, like, it's not trauma, but I'm carrying around this like feeling of oh, I can't be different. And for the people who are dyslexic, it's hard. It's a long journey. People will be horrible side, but honestly, you'll achieve أي حاجة. I achieved everything I wanted to achieve easily كمان و better than anyone else. It doesn't stop you فعلا.
Yeah, صح. فيعني بجد Wow. Thank you so much, Salma.
Thank you.
In terms of when you say doctor, it's learning difficulty specialist. I feel like I'm just gonna mention that in there. Dyslexia isn't like a diagnosis. It's not something. Like it's not like a disease or anything. It's just a learning difficulty. But there's always a learning difficulty specialist who like assesses you and is the one that informs you of like if you have dyslexia or not and what level you have. Because it's so important. If you have any signs, if you feel like you have a learning difficulty, it's so important to go to a specialist and get assessed. And you can achieve everything. And Salma, you are a living proof of that. And you're working, you're achieving goals, you're building a career. So like keep it going. And yeah, I mean so much.
Well, thank you for your awareness, because Anna, بجد, I remember seeing your post. بجد, I was like, إيه ده? لا مش مصدقة إن someone is talking about it. I feel like tell people and they don't know what it is. But thank you for doing all this effort and trying to get the word out and getting people, يعني, I don't want to say educated, but still educated about it. يعني. People need to know.
That means so much, بجد. يعني, I feel like, me and you have a very similar experience. And we're so lucky because of our parents and because of the schools that help us. But, we need to spread it. I want more people to just know in Egypt that, it's okay. You can go through it. You just need the right support, the right guidance. And
you just need, exactly.
Thank you for following the page. And I'm so happy that we were able to collaborate together and for you to share. I hope it encourages
Thank you so much. I hope so too.
Inshallah, good. Well, thank you so much, Salma. It was a great talk, and I hope we can speak soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.